being with the guys, because when you come back, it'll feel like you've been here the whole time, no matter how long you've been sitting out or whatever the case might be. So definitely super fun. Super fun.
What's up, world? What's up, everybody in Cowboy Land? This your boy Mod, man, of Cowboys Global Cast. We are DC4L. And look, man, we just gotta talk about it, man. Literally after watching the whole George Pickens interview, I'm sitting here and there's thoughts that came across my mind. And of course, I played the clip from the best part for me, the guys, the chemistry, that he's built between Dak Prescott and he's built with CD Lamb. They are the dynamic duo. But let me address this real quick, man. I mean, honestly, when you start to think about this at this point, the media are a bunch of piranhas, man. They're looking for clickbait. They want clickbait. They want to be able to have something to keep a narrative going. First it was he's not going to sign the tag. Second, it is he's going to hold out and not come to OTAs, mandatory OTAs. The third part is he's going to hold in. So you have people like Emmanuel Acho speaking and talking about he's going to hold in, he's not going to hold out. Here's a guy who desperately wants to play with his boys. And he said it throughout the interview. He was like, look, I let my agent do what my agent do. I listen to him. He's the one that's got to take care of that. I play football. And this is a guy who I think wants to play football. And he wants, if you're looking at it from a money perspective and David Melagutta, how does he benefit the most? I'm gonna tell you how he benefits the most. Being on the field and raising his value. George Pickens doubles or improves his numbers from last year. He can pretty much write his own check. That JSN number is going to be his number with a different organization or with the Cowboys. Either or, right? He's going to get paid. It is what it is. He goes out and does George Pickens things. He's going to get paid. That's the first thing. First thing before I can really even get to my dynamic duo thing. That's the first thing. The second thing is I just want everybody to understand the narrative that's been spun about George Pickens. If you're watching this man and watching the interviews that he's doing, you're starting to get a different feel of George, right? You're getting a different feel of George. George ain't the dude that they painted him out to be, the crash out that he's been painted out to be. You know what I'm saying? Really humble, really intelligent young man who's about his business and really just wants to play football and get better. I mean, he's been working out. He's been throwing with Dak. This is somebody who loves where he is. And you gotta understand, he did all that time in Pittsburgh with no quarterback, right? He did that with no quarterback. And here he is now. He has a quarterback. He has what he needs to perform. Nobody's just gonna go. I'm not fixing to just go play with Tua. I'm not finna do that. Not just for some more bread. And even though the NFL says not for long, right? I'm not fixing to go someplace who doesn't have a franchise quarterback. Cause then I'm just getting the money, collecting a check, and I'm not winning. And who wants to do that? Tell me. Okay. So we can get past that. I'm glad that we're past that. Let's just go ahead and talk about the subject at hand real quick. I just want to know who's better in the league outside of Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. And you got to give them that, right? Who's got a better receiving duo than the Cowboys? George Pickens and CD Lamb. Who has one? I'll wait. I don't think you can find one. And really, when we talk about, the install and what's happening and hearing George talk about he's going to run some slot, man, that's dangerous. George Pickens in the slot, CD on the X. On the other side, we may have Flo or we may have MVS. Who knows? Sky's the limit, man. And then if we start getting into some 13 and you have George as a wide, or the only wide, and have him on deep route, deep seam, deep comeback. Ooh, it's starting to get nasty over there, man. Listen, to hear Clayton Adams and to hear Shotty really say they both went back and reevaluated and they're building and they're listening to some of the best minds that they know football wise, and they're learning from some of the plays that they're seeing. Hey man, this could really be scary hour. And there was a time when Amari Cooper, Michael Gallup, and CeeDee Lamb all had 1,000 yards. I think we're going to go back to that. I think you're going to see 3 receivers with 1,000 yards in a Dak Prescott era, right? So I'm excited to have GP back. I'm excited about this news. I just want you guys to understand, man, the press are a bunch of piranhas, and they're going to be out here saying whatever they want to say, spreading their narrative because of the simple fact that when it comes down to it, it's their job to do it. Now, let me address the Cowboy fans. Let me address y'all toxic Cowboy fans who are you're so trauma-ridden that you're desperately looking for trauma. You need drama in order to feel normal. Stop it. Get help. The old Michael Jordan meme. You know what I'm saying? Stop. Get help, man. Look, it doesn't have to be trauma for it to feel like a Cowboy season. It doesn't have to be drama filled for it to be like Cowboy season. We deserve to win. We deserve good things to happen to us. As Cowboy fans, we deserve it, man. We went through that time, the downtimes, we went through this, we went through that. We absolutely deserve good stuff. So let's enjoy the good stuff. Let's enjoy our nice things, right? Let's do that, and enjoy this dynamic duo while we have it. You got to understand, CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens, they bout that life. You know what I'm saying? You've got 2 of the best wide receivers in the league. I'd be willing to say you've got 2 of the top 10 wide receivers in the NFL on one team, right? And then you've got in Jake Ferguson, let's just talk about it. You've got one of the top 10 tight ends in the league, right? And then in Javonte Williams, you got one of the top 10 running backs in the league. You have one of the top 10 offensive lines in the league. Look, man, let's get back at it, man. Let's do what we got to do. Let's get back at it like crack at it, man. Let's go ahead and take care of business, Cowboy Nation. And I'm going to tell you, this dynamic duo is going to take you to the promised land. I said it before. I say it again. We're going to have nice things this year. This is going to be one of the best Cowboy teams you've seen in a long time, since 93, 94. Watch what I tell you. This is going to be one of them ones. It's going to be one of them ones, and it's going to be one of them years that you're going to be very good, very happy, very glad that you held in as a Cowboy fan and that you stood on business. It's your boy Mod, man. I'm out of here. We'll talk about that dynamic duo a little bit more on Cowboys Global Cast with me and Autumn. We're going to get into it. I just had to come on here and say, look, it's day 2. It's day 2 of these mandatory OTAs. Shotty's easing Pickens back into everything. And I wanted to just go ahead and talk about, the fact that the camaraderie is the biggest thing. We're building a family on building a 53 winning roster, a 53-man winning roster. Family is everything. And you have to have a cohesive unit to be able to play and win games, because that means everybody is going to fight for the other person on the other side of it. And I don't want to let him down. I told you before, personal influence is greater than positional influence. It will win out every day, all the time. It's your boy Mod, man. I'm out of here. I will holler back at you boys. Peace.